All right, guys, so a little bit of setup, form, execution cues here for chest supported T-bar row. So again, benefits of this one over traditional T-bar row, just pretty straightforward. It's the bracing, it's the pad. So most of the setup and form is pretty straightforward and simple. Basically, it's just make sure that you're using the pad. From there, it's the same as any other row where you're trying to biceps, upper back. Let's give you a couple little quick cues and tips to focus on there. So the biggest thing for the chest supported row is to find a position of contact, basically somewhere on your rib cage, and just make sure you don't move off of that position. So again, it doesn't have to be your entire rib cage. Some people press literally their entire sternum top to bottom, but if you get flat on there, it tends to kind of put you in a little bit of a flat upper back or kind of even a rounded upper back position. So for most part, I feel like you can use your traps and upper backs a little bit better, especially get further retracted when you're a little bit of an extended position. So I suggest you get in an extended position. Make sure it's relatively speaking unmoving, and then find whatever contact point you have on the pad and keep it there. So as you're going, you might have literally your lower point of your sternum staying on the pad the whole time, and your upper chest might be off. And as your shoulder blades are moving, and even as your pecs come together, it might look like a little bit of tissue is coming on and off the pad. But as long as you can feel some contact point of bone, again, the base of your rib cage, the base of your sternum, pressing into the pad, that's the main thing you want to make sure that you have. Aside from that, if we're trying to bias more upper back, you just want some sort of whitish grip. And the reason being is if your elbows tucked right at your side, you just won't be able to drive your elbows as far back. You won't be able to retract your shoulder blades quite as far. So you want to put your upper arm in a position just where your shoulder blades can move the most, and then keep your focus there. So for the most part, nothing set in stone. It's going to be somewhere around 45 degrees up to about 80 degrees. You don't necessarily need to be full up 90 degrees here. So again, maybe somewhere again about 80 degrees to 45 degrees. Find your comfy slot. And then all of your focus should be on your shoulder blades and to an extent driving your elbows back. So I'll have parents go in a minute. But as you're coming to that stretch position at the bottom, let your shoulder blades protract as far as you can. So I can feel them moving around your rib cage while keeping the spine unmoving. So a lot of people make a mistake is if they protract, they round with it as well too. You want to keep your spine still unmoving. So you can protract as far as you can. Focus on the end of the range of motion being focused on your shoulder blades, and then initiating with retraction of the shoulder blades. So again, the last thing to move should be the shoulder blades, the first thing to move should be the shoulder blades, and then arms come along for the ride. You can absolutely focus on driving your elbows as far back as you can, as long as you're still keeping your main focus on retracting your shoulder blades as much as you can as well too. Again, rear delts, some stuff that moves the upper arms is going to work as well too, but keep your main focus on your shoulder blades. So T-Teres is going to set up. As far as everything else goes, the T-bar is always a little bit different, whether you're comfortable with your feet on the pad or you're comfortable with your feet on the floor. Just find somewhere once you get set, the more things that you can have on moving, the better. So you want your lower body still, your hips still, and again, find that contact point on the pad. And then from there, again, you see he's finishing with some nice protraction, depending on where this pulls, he's even pulling a teeny bit in elevation, which is perfectly fine. And from there, focus on retracting the shoulder blades, driving the elbows as far back as you can, and finishing with a hard retraction right there, the upper back. Nice control pace, let it stretch on out, hard squeeze the upper back. And the last little key to really make sure that you're using the chest pad is that you're driving your chest into the pad. So before you pull, make sure you feel like you're pushing your chest forward, like almost like you're trying to pull yourself further into the pad as opposed to coming off. So a lot of people, as they row, they pull right off the pad. These are rectors to get them up. We'll go one more. Hard retraction, squeeze those shoulder blades. Perfect. And then I'm going to finish with a nice protraction forward. Perfect. And so that's it. Then big mistake people make on this is spine moving off the pad. So again, right as you're initiating the pull, especially in your warm-up sets practices, push into the pad, make sure at least that one contact point is moving, and then from there focus on the shoulder blades as much as you can. And again, upper arms can be kind of a secondary thing to focus on driving those elbows back. But keep your mind, keep your eyes on, obviously you can't see it, just visualizing what your shoulder blades, what your scapular moving around your rib cage as much as they can one way, and retracting and pulling as far together the other way. And then ultimately that will keep you focused mainly on the musculature that's doing most of the work and not letting other stuff take